What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update. We're also going to talk about how some people are going to get $3,200 stimulus checks possibly coming out. We're going to talk about presidential executive orders coming out. We're going to talk about the inauguration. We're going to talk about new vaccines coming out. We're going to talk about the $2,000 stimulus check. We got a lot of breaking news as Inauguration Day is just a few days away and the news is flying off the press about stimulus. Let's jump into it. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates regarding new stimulus checks, stimulus packages, rent assistance, Social Security increases, student loan forgiveness, PPP, loans. Yeah, we cover it all here and help us reach our goal of 300,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. And don't forget to like this video if you haven't yet. It really helps out our channel. All right, let's jump right into it. Threats that keep coming in every single day are alarming people from Washington, D.C. and across the country that we might have 2021 Protest 2.0, not only on Inauguration Day, but also before and after, as there's tens of thousands of National Guard and Washington, D.C. police and extra security flooding into the Capitol to protect us from a second round of protests. 7-foot barriers have been staged around the Capitol, its office buildings, and the Supreme Court. National Guard troops will number as much as 25,000 people, and many of them will be armed. Troops have been photographed sleeping in nearly every corner of the Capitol, sleeping in hallways and any place they can to simply find room. And inauguration preparation not been seen since President Lincoln was set to take office amid the Civil War. In fact, quotes like this, "It's not like we haven't faced anything like this, but we haven't faced anything like this in modern age since 9/11. Dr. Fauci says new vaccine approval may be very close.
How close are we on Johnson & Johnson and the AstraZeneca vaccines?
Soon, Chuck. I mean, we're going to be meeting with the authorities on that. They have a lot of events meaning infections within the context of the trial. So their data, I think, very soon, I would imagine within a period of a week or so, or at the most a couple of weeks, they're going to be getting their data together and showing it to the FDA. Well, obviously, they're going to have to get their data and safety monitoring board to look at it to see if it is appropriate to start, essentially putting the package together to get an emergency use authorization. But we're weeks away, not months away for sure.
Vice President-elect Kamala Harris is set to resign from her Senate seat tomorrow, which will be about 48 hours before she will be inaugurated as the first woman vice president ever. She's notified California Governor Newsom and has sent her formal indication that she will be resigning from the Senate on Monday, and then she will make a formal announcement after. California governor has already announced that he will appoint Alex Padilla, California's Secretary of State, to fill Kamala Harris's Senate seat for the remainder of her term, which was scheduled to end in 2022. On stimulus and everything related, President-elect Joe Biden says across the country, approximately 14 million Americans have fallen behind on rent, and many may soon be at risk of eviction. We need to act now. That's why next week I'll extend nationwide restrictions on evictions and foreclosures. We're expecting at least a dozen, if not 24, different executive orders for multiple different things that may affect you in a good way once he takes presidency.
Approximately 14 million Americans are falling behind on rent, many at risk of eviction. If we don't act now, there'll be a wave of evictions and foreclosures in the coming months as the pandemic rages on. This would overwhelm emergency shelters, increase COVID-19 infections as people have nowhere to go and can't socially distance. Next week, we'll take action to extend nationwide restrictions on evictions and foreclosures. This will provide more than 25 million Americans greater stability instead of living on the edge every single month. And I'm asking Congress to do its part by funding rental assistance for 14 million hard-hit families and tenants. It will also be a bridge to economic recovery for countless mom-and-pop landlords.
Now, if and when he extends the federal eviction moratorium, which he also might extend student loan payments, this is not student loan forgiveness. We're expecting that in probably a separate bill, a standalone bill, possibly an executive order. That can be done in an executive order. But we're expecting him to at least extend student loan payments and the eviction moratorium. So the eviction moratorium, remember, you have to print out a CDC affidavit and give it to your landlord, and each state is different. You may have to make a partial payment to your landlord. What I recommend you do is Google eviction moratorium in your state, and if you're in possibility of being evicted or you're behind on your rent, fill out the eviction moratorium affidavit and give it to your landlord and tell them that you're trying to make payments or whatever your situation is. You probably need to make at least a partial payment to your landlord to continue going forward, but each state is different. So I recommend you look into your state's specifics. Now, whether you like Bernie Sanders or not, he's going to become more and more important going forward on more stimulus packages and stimulus checks. Joe Biden has taken Bernie Sanders under his wing and basically made him his right-hand man. In my opinion, Joe Biden is making him probably the most important person besides Kamala Harris in the Biden administration. In fact, Biden said he wanted to put him in his cabinet, but he didn't want to lose him in the Senate. So he made it the Senate Budget Chairman, which actually gives him a lot more power in addition to influence with Joe Biden. If you ever hear them talk about each other, it's basically like they're best friends, and anything the one guy says that they go along with each other. Let me show you.
If we lose Georgia, Bernie Sanders is the budget chairman.
If we lose the Senate, do you know who becomes the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee?
In 2016, Paul Ryan said Republicans should be scared of Democrats controlling the Senate because Bernie Sanders would be the budget chair.
A guy named Bernie Sanders. You ever heard of him?
Bernie's budget, Bernie Sanders speaking out on spending priorities.
The Senate Budget Committee is really one of the most powerful in Congress because it controls the money.
Sanders has been creating a new stimulus package that could include an emergency universal health care program so that anyone can get medical treatment during the pandemic, whether they currently have insurance or not.
We are proposing to raise the minimum wage so that people can earn a living wage. The American people are hurting very badly. What do the American people want, Lindsay? They want us to create jobs. They want us to rebuild a crumbling infrastructure and create millions of jobs. We now have the opportunity to move this country forward with a very different set of priorities.
Sanders has no problems being loud and bold.
Bernie is a man of his convictions.
I think the job of many of us is to keep banging away over and over again and ask why it is that we end up having millions of people sleeping out on the street.
My friend Bernie Sanders, I can think of no more passionate, devoted ally to working people in this country.
Senator Sanders says that he will use budget reconciliation process to boldly address the needs of working families.
We're talking about moms trying to feed their kids, people worried about being thrown out on the street.
The landlord here has started an eviction process against us.
Never thought I'd be in this situation ever.
I have no money for rent.
If we get kicked out of our house, where are we going to go?
1 out of 4 corporations doesn't pay a nickel in taxes. We are going to start to tax the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. We just voted the largest military budget in the history of this country, $740 billion. The Pentagon can't even do an independent audit. There's an enormous amount of waste in that budget, but no one worries about that. But when it comes to the mom and dad who are struggling to put food on the table for their kids, oh my God, we're worried about the deficit.
I need help because I'm about to be homeless.
What our job has got to be is to bring people together around an agenda that is in fact supported by the vast majority of the American people.
Okay, so you heard there several different things. We heard about the budget reconciliation process. That's what we've been talking about, where the Democrats are only going to need 51 votes to pass a stimulus checks and stimulus package bill when they invoke that reconciliation rule. They're going to try to pass this next stimulus package with the $1,400 checks, or they're called $2,000 plus up checks, that add $600 plus the $1,400 to equal $2,000. Let me, before I forget this, I may have forgot this in the last one, $3,200. There's a lot of chatter right now. And the reason it's chatter is because, well, we don't know the actual details. We have an outline on the third stimulus package, but it's not an actual bill. So it's like 19 pages, but it doesn't go into like specifics because it's not a thousands of pages bill. The third stimulus check is $1,400. It's a $2,000 plus up. So your $600 that you just got, or hopefully just got, plus the $1,400 is a plus up of $2,000. So $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, and adult dependents are included. Now, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of talk that the adult dependents or college student dependents, a dependent is somebody who is a dependent on somebody else's tax returns, okay? Simple as that. So all these people did not get checks for the first and the second stimulus checks. There's a lot of chatter right now that they're going to get not only the third stimulus check, but the first and the second also. So they would get the $1,400, the $600, and the $1,200, $3,200. We know that this budget outline of the third stimulus check includes adult dependents. So at worst case scenario, it looks like $1,400. Best case scenario, there's all three stimulus checks in there for $3,200. That is very, very good news. As always, I will keep you updated on the breaking news as we learn more details about all of this. The other thing about Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris, literally the #1 and #2 people underneath Joe Biden, is they were both the main proponents, the main people pushing for $2,000 per month stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. This isn't forever. It's not like it's welfare forever. It's just until the pandemic is over, okay? Dr. Fauci says that that could likely be the end of 2021. Now, I don't expect I expect Joe Biden and the administration to pass the $1,400, $2,000 plus up check first, okay? I do not expect this to happen first because they're going to try to pass the $1,400 third stimulus package with all those different buckets of money in there first, and I expect them to try to get Republican support, which means only 10 votes in the Senate. So they would dare never try to pass this in the Senate and get Republican support. So just let's be clear here. They're going to pass this $1,400 check first, along with this third stimulus package, all those different things in there, rent assistance, unemployment extension update of now $400 instead of $300, all the different things that you guys know are in there. PPP, more money for small business. There's so many things in there, okay? But after that, then it gets interesting because then the Republicans are basically going to be mentally exhausted from spending so much money helping our economy and helping our own people. You know, it's funny how you'll hear Bernie Sanders say, oh, they're willing to spend trillions of dollars on tax cuts for the wealthy and for large corporations. But when it comes, this is what he said in that video, but when it comes time to help out Americans and people on the street and people with rent and clothing and food, oh, well, now we have to be fiscally responsible and pay attention to the national budget. You know, now it's time to do that. It's kind of ironic how that is. But after this next stimulus check, the $1,400, that's when we're going to see more of a push for $2,000 stimulus checks. And of course, you're going to hear every Republican from the Senate. And I'm not being a Republican or a Democrat here. I'm just telling you guys the truth. Every Republican in the Senate is going to hate it. Okay. They probably won't get one single vote, but guess what? They don't really need a single vote because of the reconciliation process. Once they invoke that rule, they only need 51 votes in the Senate. And guess what they have? They have 50 Democrats in the Senate, and the tiebreaker 50-50 vote goes to Kamala Harris, which is the vice president. So they will be able to pass multiple different stimulus packages and stimulus bills without any Republican support when they invoke it. Now, I know that might seem unfair, but Republicans did that in the past too. This has been going on for many, many years. Most recently, the Republicans did it in 2016, 2017 to pass the Trump tax cut that the Democrats were completely against, and the Republican passed it with the reconciliation process. Okay, so this has been going on for many, many years. In this case, this will probably benefit you guys. So if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I will try to address them in upcoming videos. Make sure you're subscribed down below. It's completely free, and click the bell icon so you get notifications. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes at 11 p.m. So I will see you guys in the next 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. You can click this top video here, which is my newest stimulus check video next. And this bottom video is reasons you might not get the next stimulus check. If you haven't watched that yet, watch that also. This video teaches you how I teach people how to start selling products on Amazon and replace their 9-to-5 income. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys. I will see you in the next video.